This is Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. NSCDC discovers new method for oil thieves. Police rescue abducted 14-month-old baby. Tinubu to host Indian Prime Minister in Abuja. Federal government plans manufacturing of vehicle spare parts. Trump appoints Levitt, White House Press Secretary. Ayomakun bags Box Office King Award. Atlanta sets asking price for Ademola Lookman. Welcome back. Now to the details of our stories. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Rivers State Command, says it has uncovered a new method adopted by crude oil thieves to transport illegally refined petroleum products to neighboring states. Rivers State Commandant of the NSCDC, Joachim Okafor, made this disclosure while addressing newsmen at the command head office in Port Harcourt. Okafor disclosed that oil thieves now convey illegal petroleum products with sport utility vehicles, SUVs, to beat the vigilant eyes of men of the corps. According to him, men of the commandant's anti-vandal units on patrol intercepted 3 SUVs laden with unquantified, adulterated gasoline oil, AGO, popularly known as diesel, in 2 border local government areas of the state. Okafor said the NSCDC River State Command's anti-vandal unit was on patrol at HA border in HA local government area of River State. On sighting the patrol team, suspected illegal oil bunkers abandoned a Toyota Sequoia Jeep fully loaded with AGO, popularly called bullfire diesel, and escaped into the nearby bush. He noted that the suspects, who are on the run, will soon be apprehended, adding that the seized vehicles and the petroleum products will be forfeited to the federal government. The NSCDC boss assured that with the collaborative efforts of the citizens, the command will not relent in securing national critical assets, including pipelines, against vandals and crude oil thieves, who, he noted, are enemies of the country. Okafor therefore warned oil thieves to delve into meaningful ventures, emphasizing that the command will not spare anyone arrested. Analysts have said that the All Progressives Congress in River State cannot be fragmented. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program ATN Saturday, socio-political analyst Emi Fega explained that there are issues that are regarded as party affairs, and however the party decides to treat such issues should be the sole decision of the party's members.
As one entity, not as a fragmented bodies that try, to run for an election. So if you know APC as APC, it therefore means that there is one APC. APC might just have branches. That does not mean that we now have River State APC, Delta State APC, this APC when it comes to the law. In the eyes of the law, APC is APC. And the constitution of the party set up organs and assign the responsibilities and how those responsibilities should be carried out. Everything is enshrined in their own constitution. And by precedent, we have several judicial decisions, including the one of Supreme Court, that try to explain to Nigerians that there are issues that are tagged as party affairs. And those party affairs or events remains party decisions. Whatever the party does, that is their affairs. And the court is not expected to intervene or to alter whatever decision the party is trying to undertake, except there is issue of a contradiction with the provision of the 1999 Constitution, that is where the court comes in. So what am I trying to say here in essence? You see, the issue of we are the legitimate, authentic, or whatever recognized party structure in the state. We are not the legitimate recognized party structure. For me, it's just a kind of political brouhaha.
On his part, Mr. Olonwe Godwin said the National Working Committee of the APC must work with an already existing party structure in order for it to hold Congress.
If there is no existing structure to help the national conduct its affairs in the state, then the national cannot do that. So the national must have a structure on ground to work with, either out.
Recall that the All Progressives Congress River State chapter, led by Emeka Beke, has accused the caretaker committee chairman of the party in the state, Tony Okocha, of deliberately flouting the rule of law. Analyst has expressed that panel of inquiry is not a court, therefore does not have the right to prosecute anyone. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program ATN Saturday, socio-political analyst Emi Haga said the people summoned by the River State Judicial Commission of Inquiry for investigation was for political reasons.
I think it's just like an adversary body who is trying to find out a certain fact with regard to certain issues. A panel of inquiry is not a court. A panel of inquiry does not have that prosecutorial powers to prosecute somebody. It's just maybe whatever they do, the outcome will be a kind of a recommendation made to the person who set it up. In this case, maybe the state government. But however, in trying to make sure that people pay for their doings, it should also be in line with goodwill. It should not be something of vendetta or pose the position of I must bring you down or humiliate you. I don't support such an action. From the list that are posted here, and critically, if you x-ray the panel of inquiry, you will know it's a committee that is set up for a certain political drive. And it is bent on achieving that political drive to satisfy certain nefarious and self-centered political quests. And I will not.
Emi Haga further stated that the purpose of setting up panel of inquiry is to make findings and not to undo people.
It's meant to find a certain fact. And the Constitution, Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution says, the primary purpose of government is the welfare and the security of the people. It didn't say some life or some property are better than some other property. An event took place that has to do with the destruction of the building of an arm of government, right? No panel of inquiry, nothing happened. In fact, there was no issue about that. It was okay. But when another property at the local government level was seen, maybe presumably or allegedly is destroyed, then a panel of inquiry now came and certain names are mentioned to come and testify just because a name was mentioned. You see, if we are living in a constitutional democracy, I always advocate that we must submit our actions to the rule of the law. An assembly who sat like the provision of the 1999 Constitution, Section 91, that set up what an assembly is and what should make up a members of an assembly, that says it should not be less than 24 and not more than 40 as enshrined in the law. Then Section 92 then stipulate how a speaker can emerge a speaker of a state of assembly, which Honorable Eddie Sehi and they participated in electing Amir Hule, right? And people are trying to misconstrue and try to misinform people to ensure that setting was on the 30th of October 2023, right? That was the day it was suspended, and that was the day the House sat and assembly sat, and there was no faction. There was no issue of defection. All of them were in PDP. The issue of defection took place at about 42 days later. That was on the 11th. Alleged defection took place on the 11th of December 2023, 42 days after. So how did you become a speaker that you now have the effort, the powers to declare a seat of somebody vacant, where you were not even a speaker? You didn't even make up the requirement to form a quorum to engage in certain discussion that has to do with the assembly. So how do you declare somebody's seat vacant? You don't have such a power. So all these were all shenanigans. And if the law says an assembly is a power to make law for the good governance of the state, and the assembly simply exercise that power by extending the tenure of some, I think the right way to have done that was to approach the court, and then went to court. And the state high court said they have quashed that law, that they don't have power to do so. Fine. The next thing was supposed to be an appeal. It's the same thing that applies to the alleged defection. You said the people had.
This comes after the Rivers State Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up to investigate the destruction of some local government secretariats and has summoned the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Ezenwawike. A different story, operatives of the Edo State Police Command have successfully rescued a 14-month-old baby, Grace Osamagbe, who was abducted by her nanny, Rejoice Chukwu, in April. Commissioner of Police Umaru Ozigi told newsmen on Saturday in Benin that the Anti-Kidnapping and Cyber Crime Unit arrested Chukwu, a 24-year-old, and her boyfriend, Destiny Ukechukwu, 28-year-old in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. According to Ozigi, the suspects abducted the baby in Benin and collected a ransom of 160,000 naira. In spite of receiving the ransom, the suspects allegedly sold the baby for 500,000 naira to Doris Chiwendu in Owerri, Imo State. Ozigi further stated that following intense interrogation, police tracked down Chiwendu and another suspect, Jane Amaigbo, in Ubomiri, Imo State, and rescued the baby on November 9. The police commissioner explained that the suspect will soon be charged to court. State chairman of the Cross River chapter of the People Democratic Party, Mr. Venatius Ikem, has been removed from the office by the party's State Working Committee. The chairman's removal was contained in a letter dated November 15 and signed by the entire 14 SWC members. Similarly, the 18 local government chairman of the party also endorsed the removal of the chairman at the press briefing at the party secretariat in Calabar on a later date. They hinged his removal on allegations of misappropriation of funds, high-handedness and inability to manage the state chapter of the PDP. The leadership in their resolution accused the sacked chairman of failure to perform his duties as outlined in the party's constitution. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Forum of Chapter Chairman of PDP, Chief Godwin Abeng, who addressed the media alongside other chairmen, said Nkem's removal is a good omen for the party in Cross River. He attributed the poor outing of the PDP in the 2023 general elections to the poor leadership direction of the ousted chairman. Following Nkem's removal, Austin Edibe, vice chairman of the Northern Senatorial District of the party, was appointed as the acting chairman of the party in Cross River State. We now move on to Enugu State, where Governor of the state, Dr. Peter Mba, has charged African leaders at all levels in the revival of the ideas of broad-mindedness, inclusivity, Pan-Africanism, and selflessness espoused by the foremost nationalist and former president of Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, to move the continent forward. This was even as he warned that Africa's youth bulge, which is projected to reach 830 to 850 million by 2050, could either be a blessing or a nightmare, depending on how the continent's leaders at every level are able to invest in youth development and job creation. Mba stated this at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Accra during the 13th annual Zik lecture series themed Zik's Legacy and the Rising Social Movements of Africa, delivered by the African Union High Representative and former President of the Economic Community of West African States, Dr. Mohammed IBN Chambers. The governor recalled that Azikiwe's broad-minded nature saw him champion the emergence of non-Easterners as elected leaders in the defunct region of Pan-Africanism, which deservedly earned him the moniker Zik of Africa. The governor, however, regretted the erosion of such values and the consequent slow pace of integration, including infrastructural integration amongst the people of the continent decades ago. Mba called for robust human capital development and job creation, failing which Africa's and Nigeria's youth bulging populations could become a nightmare. Operatives of the Department of State Services have arrested a suspected vote buyer in the ongoing governorship election in Ondo State. He was arrested at Ward 4, polling unit 007, outside St. Joseph's Primary School, Akure in Ondo State. According to the reports, the suspect was apprehended with 2 bags of money meant to be used to induce the voters during the ongoing election. Mr. Agbola Ajayi, the People's Democratic Party candidate on the Ondo State governorship election, has expressed displeasure at the conduct of the election in Kiribo, Eseodo local government area. The PDP candidate accused the Independent National Election Commission of bias, saying he had received reports of delays in the commencement of voting in parts of the state. Ajayi said it took almost 10 minutes before he could cast his vote after battling with accreditation, describing it as attempts to frustrate voters. The former deputy governor expressed concern over INEC's inability to conduct a seamless election in one state, warning that such inefficiency could lead to chaos. He also lamented reports of voters buying and malfunctioning beavers, describing the election as a shameful exercise. Agbola also called for the resignation of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman. Still in Ondo State, the All Progressives Congress has dismissed allegations by the PDP that it deployed thugs to Efoson in the Downray local government area to disrupt the ongoing governorship election. In a statement on Saturday, the APC Publicity Secretary, Mr. Steve Otaloro, refuted the claims, insisting that the voting in the area was proceeding without incidents. He criticized the PDP's allegation, calling them an attempt to create unnecessary tension. Otaloro also questioned the plausibility of allegations, adding that such accusations arise when plans are thwarted, and that's likely what happened here. He further emphasized APC's commitment to the peace of the election. Otaloro concluded that the election had been peaceful, and they then urged everyone to allow it to end that way, noting that as a party, they were committed to peace and have instructed their members to ensure tranquility throughout this election process. In Lagos State, the government has announced the diversion of traffic from the outbound Apapa lane of the Marine Bridge to facilitate urgent repairs on the asphalt section of the road. The traffic diversion will begin on Monday, November 18, 2024, and is expected to last until Tuesday, February 25, 2025. This development was disclosed in a statement issued by the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Osiyemi. Osiyemi urged motorists to utilize alternative routes to avoid congestion in the affected areas. The traffic diversion will affect only routes leading to Ijora Olopa, while motorists heading to Costain via Sifax will still have access. Osiyemi said to minimize inconvenience, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASEMA, personnel will be deployed to key points along the diversion routes to ensure smooth vehicular movement. Osiyemi assured residents that the repair work undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Works through the Office of the Federal Controller, Lagos, will be closely monitored to ensure timely completion. We went to Ogun State, where Governor Dapo Abiodun has commended the people of the state for the orderly manner they conducted themselves during the local government elections in the state. The governor gave the commendation on Saturday while fielding questions from newsmen after voting at Ita Osayin, Unit 2, Ward 3, in Ikperuremu, Ikene local government area of the state. The governor, who arrived at the polling booth at 11:10 a.m. and voted at 11:22 a.m., noted the peaceful atmosphere across the state is an indication that the people are ready to elect the candidate of their choice. The governor commended men and women of the law enforcement agencies for working collaboratively to ensure a peaceful election in the state. He acknowledged some hiccups in the process, but expressed confidence in the ability of the State Independent Electoral Commission to surmount it. Abiodun lauded the media for giving adequate coverage to the process leading to the election and pleaded with them to be objective in their reportage to avoid confusion and disaffection, adding that where there is no misinformation, there will be no confusion. Suspected cultists on Friday killed Mutiu Akimbami, a former councillor in Abeokuta North local government area of Ogun State. Akimbami, popularly known as Ego, was reportedly attacked at the brewery area of Abeokuta around 6 p.m. and shot in the head while riding a motorcycle. The state police public relations officer, Mr. Omolola Odutola, confirmed the incident on Saturday when said the deceased was riding home on a motorcycle when he was shot from behind by one of the masked occupants of an unregistered white tinted glass Hilux. Odutola stated that the divisional police officer quickly mobilized patrol teams to the location and transported the victim to Ijaye General Hospital, Abeokuta, where the doctor confirmed him dead. She further disclosed that the deceased was a former staff member of the Federal College of Education, Osiele, in Abeokuta, and had been listed as a wanted person. She added arrests have been made and further details would be provided as investigations continue. Osun State Police Command has paraded Emmanuel Anthony, accused of using military uniforms to rob passengers along Ekiti Road. Parading the suspect at the police command headquarters in Oshogbo, Yemisi Okbalola, the police public relations officer, revealed that Anthony allegedly forced the victim from Esaoke to transfer 3 million to his account. Anthony is also accused of attacking 2 others and robbing them of mobile phones valued at 1.25 million. Obalola added that suspect Lawan Yaro, Gambo Dugbe, Adam Abba, Ali Usman, Ali Muhammad, Abbas Abugu, Kamal Haudu, and others have been arraigned in court once investigations into their crimes are completed. 7 other suspects arrested for conspiracy, armed robbery, and receiving stolen vehicles were also paraded. Opalola added that the suspects, Lawan Yaro, Gambo Duje, Adam Abba, Ali Usman, Ali Muhammad, Kamal Haudu, and Abbas Abogu, amongst others, will be arraigned in court once all investigations are completed. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has disclosed the release of 130 million naira to the State Organizing Committee of the 39th edition of the State Quranic Recitation Competition. Speaking at the ceremony opening of the competition on Saturday in Jamari, local government area of the state, the governor noted that the government's support is an effort to inculcate the habit of Quranic memorization amongst youth of the state. Represented by the Speaker, Bauchi State House of Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, the governor said the history of the Quranic recitation competition in Nigeria cannot be completed without Bauchi State, considering the record performance of the state indigene who excel in various competitions home and abroad. The governor, who enjoined the participants to see Quranic recitation beyond just competition due to its significant rewards, equally wished the committee a hitch-free exercise. On his part, while speaking at the event, the chairman of the State Quranic Recitation Competition Committee, Hassan Zango, commended Governor Bala Mohammed for the support the competition has been gaining from him over the years. He said the committee is working hard to ensure that justice is done to the participants so that the state will continue performing excellently at both national and international levels. Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and New Media to Yesom Wike, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Lere Olayinka, says his principal has no time for those who he described as professional scammers and hustlers masquerading as activists. Olayinka, in a statement on Saturday, said most of those jumping from one social media platform to another to speak against the FCT minister were doing so because he ignored them and is making the Yahoo antics through which they have sustained themselves to fail. He said the style of the hustling masquerade activists has been the same, adding that they would threaten and blackmail by making noise in the media or by organizing protests. He said, unfortunately for these hustler activists, Wike does not play the kind of game, and that's the reason they are frustrated. On the issues of grabbing lands, Olayinka challenged those making such allegations to provide evidence of lands owned by anyone that the FCT minister has grabbed. 42-year-old nurse Alice Loksha has regained her freedom 6 years after her abduction by Boko Haram insurgents in Borno State. Speaking with newsmen in Maiduguri, the state capital, the theater commander of Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, Northeast Major General Wadi Shuaibu, explained that Boko Haram captured Loksha in 2018 while she was working at a UNICEF office in Kala Balge. Represented by his deputy, Major General Kenneth Chibu, the commander also announced the escape of another abducted woman, Faina Ali, captured by Boko Haram insurgents in 2020 while traveling from Kaduna to process her late brother's death benefits. He lamented that both abductees were forced into marriage with the insurgents while in captivity. He further explained that Faina was initially held in Kangurawa enclave for 9 months, then transferred to Tumbumna for 3 years and returned to Kangurawa for another year before escaping. He added that both women have undergone traumatic experiences and have shown remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. The Borno State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuwaira Gambo, who received the abductees on behalf of the state government, commended the Nigerian Army for restoring peace in the Northeast region and Borno State in particular. She assured the military that the 2 women will receive extensive care, assuring that they will undergo psychosocial support and rehabilitation before being handed over to their families for integration. 4 people, including a soldier, were reportedly killed by suspected cultists at North Bank, a suburb of Makurdi, the state capital of Benue State, Friday night. Clashes among rival cult members have been on the increase around the North Bank area in the past few weeks. Eyewitness accounts disclosed that those killed on Friday, the young men, were not cultists but victims of cultists who were on the rampage. Confirming the incident, chairman of the vigilante group known as Operation Shara in the North Bank, Nura Umar, said that 4 people, including a soldier, were killed in separate attacks on Thursday and Friday nights. When contacted, the spokesperson for the State Police Command, Catherine Anene, confirmed cult activities at North Bank, but said that only 1 civilian was killed. She stated that more men have been deployed in the area. We want to Kaduna State, where the police command, through Operation Fashion Kada, has arrested 6 kidnappers, a cattle rustler, and 5 suspects involved in vandalism. The operations also led to the recovery of locally made firearm and charms. In a statement by the command's PPRO ASP Manser Hassan, he said on November 12th, 4 members of the kidnapping syndicate were apprehended in Rahama village, Dutseni Y village, and nearby areas. The police spokesman also stated that in a separate operation on November 6, 2024, officers in a Kara local government area arrested 2 members of the gang that has been terrorizing residents. According to him, the suspects, Surajo Hassan and Abdul Hardir Usman, admitted to multiple kidnappings and robberies, including one case where a victim was held for 60 days before an 8 million naira ransom was paid. Both suspects disclosed receiving 1 million naira each as their share. Do not forget that you're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us.
It's the Glow Festival of Joy and it's raining exciting prizes. Oh, for 120 days, we take it to the max. Mind-blowing, loaded prizes. Take John, winning a tear rubber Toyota Prado by recharging up to 100,000 naira. And Sister T, winning a Cha-Cha Kia Picanto by recharging up to 50,000 naira. From the sky coming to you, no prizes, it's raining.
Yes, the keep downloading joy all over Nigeria.
From Toyota Prados to Kia Picantos, Keke Napets, generators, sewing machines, and even grinding machines. Just dial *611#. Choose your prizes, recharge the value for the month, and you too can win.
Whoa, you too can win, oh!
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu will on Sunday receive Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a state visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. A statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, explained that the Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria will be the first time by an Indian Prime Minister since Dr. Manmohan Singh state visit in 2007, when the two nations established a strategic partnership. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive on Saturday. According to the statement, President Tinubu and Prime Minister Modi will seek to strengthen Nigeria's and India's ties further during their bilateral discussions. Both leaders will exchange signed memoranda of understanding to enhance collaborations in critical sectors. And now to the business news. Federal government, through the National Automotive Design and Development Council, says it has put in place the necessary structures and frameworks to begin the manufacturing of 10 essential vehicle spare parts locally. He said this move would help reduce the country's dependence on spare parts importations, which currently gulps $1 billion annually. The NADDC Director General Joseph Osanipin, according to a statement on Saturday, disclosed this at an event to conclude a 2-week training of auto engineers and software automotive designs in Abuja. The training bootcamp, focused on Midas NFX software for automotive design skills, was organized in collaboration with Midas IT Co. of South Korea and trained 15 participants. Speaking, the Director General, represented by the Directorate of Research, Design and Development, Fidelis Achiv, noted that the Council is ready to produce spare parts for over 11 million vehicles plying Nigerian roads. He also said the Council is working to achieve a local assembling component of 40% from less than 1% assembling capacity currently. Abuja Division of Appeal Court has sacked Musailu Akensaya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, from the position of the National President of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. The court also affirmed Tajuddin Ibukunle Barua as the authentic president of the NURTW. The court also affirmed the judgment of the Industrial Court delivered on 11th March 2024. The court held that the appeal filed by Najim Usman, Yashin, Tajuddin Agbede, and others challenging the decision of the Industrial Court that recognized Baruwa as president lacked merits and therefore dismissed it. In a certified true copy of the judgment delivered on Friday, November 8 by a three-member panel, Justice Hama Akawu Burka, Namdi Okui Dimba, and Asamau Ojolukbe Akambi also declared Baruwa as the bona fide and legally elected president of the union. The appellate court also awarded the sum of 100,000 naira against the appellants in favor of the respondents. Up next is the international tidbits. United States President-elect Donald Trump has picked 27-year-old Caroline Leavitt as the White House press secretary. After serving as an assistant press secretary during Trump's first stint as president, she's set to return as the youngest person ever in the high-pressure top press job. She has had a meteoric rise since getting her break as a student assistant for the Fox News during his 2016 campaign for the White House. Trump said in a statement announcing her appointment, Leavitt is smart and tough and has proven to be a highly effective communicator, and that he has had the utmost confidence that she would excel at the podium and help deliver their message to the American people. The conservative from New Hampshire has been regular presence of Trump's side in 2024, serving as his campaign spokeswoman at his rallies, as well as his multiple court appearances. The mother of one, who took 9 days off to give birth to her son during the campaign in July, is a fervent believer in Trump's America First anti-immigrant agenda and shares his disdain for traditional media companies. As press secretary, she will face enormous pressure from Donald Trump, who is known to closely scrutinize cable news coverage. Leavitt began her rise through the Republican Party ranks after Trump and other contenders of the 2016 presidential nomination visited her university campus in Manchester, New Hampshire, for a primary debate that was broadcast by Fox News. Family of murdered black civil rights activist Malcolm X is suing the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency and the New York Police Department for $100 million in having a role of his death. The lawsuit says the agencies were involved in a plot that failed to stop the killing. Ben Crump, a civil rights attorney who is representing the family, said at a news conference that they believe that they all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X, one of the greatest thought leaders of the 20th century. Malcolm X was killed in 1965 when 3 armed men shot him 21 times as he was preparing to speak in New York. The lawsuit alleges that a corrupt, unlawful, and unconstitutional relationship between law enforcement and the ruthless killers allowed for the murder. A link between the agencies and the killers went unchecked for many years and was actively concealed, condoned, protected, and facilitated by government agents, the lawsuit says. It says the NYPD, coordinating with the agencies, also detained members of Malcolm X's security team days before the shooting and intentionally removed their officers from inside the ballroom where he was shot. Federal agents, including undercover operatives, were in the ballroom during the assassination and took no steps to intervene, the lawsuit alleges. Fire at the neonatal unit of an Indian hospital killed 10 newborns, authorities said, on Saturday, with another 39 rescued from blaze blame of the faulty oxygen machine. Building fires are common in India due to a lacking of firefighting equipment and a routine disregard for safety precautions. ATN gathered that the fire broke out at about 10:30 p.m. on Friday night at Maharani Lakshmibai Medical College in Jhansi, around 450 kilometers south of the capital, New Delhi. Footage from the scene showed charred beds and walls inside the ward as a crowd of anguished families awaited outside. Dr. Narendra Sengar, the principal of the medical college attached to the hospital, told AFP that babies rescued from the fire, all only days old, were moved to a new unit inside the hospital where staff were caring for them. Senga said all 39 babies in the ward have been rescued and were in good health, contradicting earlier media reports that 16 babies had been critically injured. Police Superintendent Gyanendra Kumar Singh said the fire likely started in a piece of machinery used to enrich the oxygen level in the atmosphere. In a different story, 8 people have been killed and 17 others injured in a stabbing attack on the college campus in eastern Chinese city of Yixin on Saturday. According to the police statement, around 6:30 p.m. on November 16, 2024, a stabbing incident that resulted in casualties occurred in Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology in Yixin City, causing 8 deaths and injuring another 17. The suspect was apprehended on the scene. The statement said that the suspect was a recent graduate and was motivated by failing an exam, not receiving a graduate certificate, and dissatisfaction with internship compensation. The attack is the latest mass casualty incident to hit China. Last Monday, 35 people were killed after a car plowed into pedestrians who were exercising in the southern Chinese city of Zhongzhai, injuring over 40 people. As news of the attack spread, censors swooped in to take down online videos of the attack and moderate social media discussions. On October, police arrested a 50-year-old man after a stabbing near an elementary school in Beijing, injured 5 people, including 3 children. In September, 3 people were killed and 15 others attacked and injured at a suburban supermarket in Shanghai. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is certain that the war in Russia will end sooner than it was expected, otherwise would have once Donald Trump becomes U.S. President. Zelensky said he had a constructive exchange with Trump during their phone conversation after his victory in the U.S. presidential election. He did not say whether Trump had made any demands regarding possible talks with Russia, but said he had not heard anything from him. That was contrary to Ukraine's position. Trump also consistently has said his priority is to end the war and stop what he says is a drain on U.S. resources in the form of military aid to Ukraine. Earlier this year, the U.S. House of Representatives approved a $61 billion package in military aid for Ukraine to help combat Russia's invasion. The U.S. has been the biggest arms supplier to Ukraine between 2022 of February and the end of June 2024. It delivered committed weapons and equipment worth $55 billion. According during the U.S. election campaign, the former president turned president-elect repeatedly pledged to end the war in a day, but has yet to divulge how he intends to do so. His Democratic opponents have accused him of cozying up to Russian President Vladimir Putin and saying his approach to the war amounts to surrender for Ukraine that will endanger all of Europe. And now on to sports. Super Eagles caretaker coach Augustin Eguavon has defended some of his controversial call-ups to the Super Eagles. Eguavon was criticized for inviting the duo of Kelechi Iheanacho and Umar Sadiq for the Super Eagles 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. Iheanacho and Sadiq have struggled significantly for regular playing time at their respective clubs this season. The likes of Cyril Dessus, Tolu, Arokodare and Josh Maja have been in good form in Europe, have been consistently overlooked by the GAFA. Eguavon claimed it is difficult to bring in players into the team with the limited time that they have to prepare for matches. Atalanta valued their talisman Ademola Lookman at £50 million, according to Corriere dello Sport. The Nigeria international was tempted by a move to Ligue 1 giant Paris Saint-Germain in the summer, but eventually remained at Atalanta. Lookman has been in blistering form this season with 8 goals and 5 assists in 14 appearances across all competitions with La Dea. More clubs are expected to show interest in the player next summer. The 27-year-old's contract would expire in 2026, but Atalanta have an option to extend it for a further year. Lukman moved to Bergamo from Bundesliga club RB Leipzig for just £9 million in the summer of 2022. Boxing legend Mike Tyson and rising star Jake Paul reflected on their dramatic encounter, which ultimately favored Paul. Tyson's return to the ring against Jake Paul ended with a unanimous decision and a victory for the YouTuber turned boxer. Despite the one-sided nature of the fight, Tyson ruled out retirement, insisting he's not done with the sport. WFAA reports on Saturday that meanwhile, Paul revealed his vulnerability, admitting that he was scared during the bout, despite dominating the 8-round contest. Both fighters left the ring with newfound respect for each other, each reflecting on their own unique challenges in the battle. In a captivating clash that blended age and experience with youth and speed, the 58-year-old boxing legend took on the 27-year-old YouTuber turned boxer in an 8-round showdown at AT&T Stadium, Texas, before a crowd of 80,000 persons. Paul claimed a unanimous decision victory, but the fight proved to be a test of determination and mutual respect for both fighters. Tyson, whose last professional bout was nearly 2 decades ago, displayed his characteristic grit but struggled to keep pace with Paul's agility. Final statistics showed that Tyson landed only 18 of 97 punches, while Paul threw 278 punches and landed 78. Despite the disparity, Tyson spoke candidly about the fight, praising his opponent's preparation. And now on to entertainment. Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo has revealed that her activism in seeking justice for the late Nigerian singer Ileroluwa Olubo, aka Mohbad, attracted negative criticisms and weighty allegations against her. Speaking recently in the interview, Ojo said she was accused of killing Mohbad. She said she was also accused of using his death to chase clout. The thespian said, contrary to the allegations, she was genuinely interested in getting justice for the late music star. Singer Niniola has shared her reasons for rejecting record label offers and maintaining her independence in the music industry. Speaking in an interview, Niniola explained her 10-year journey as an independent artist has allowed her to retain creative control and autonomy. She explained the importance of understanding the business side of music, which many artists overlook. Recalling the label's interest after her debut single, she declined, fearing that they would alter her unique Afro house style. According to her, she prioritizes creative freedom, citing it as a major advantage of being an independent artist. Niniola claimed that she is an introvert who finds extroversion through music. Actor and filmmaker Ayo Makun, popularly known as AY, comedian, has been honored as the box office king by the National Film and Video Censors Board for outstanding achievements over the last decade. Sharing his excitement on Instagram, AY posted a video of himself receiving the award and expressed his gratitude. The actor conveyed his deep sense of honor regarding his recognition, emphasizing that such a journey would have not been feasible without the unwavering support of his fans, cast and crew, and all those who have faith in his narratives. Nollywood actress Toke Makinwa has articulated her aspiration to remarry. At the age of 40, she described marriage as one of the most beautiful institutions, despite its inherent challenges. In a recent podcast discussion, she stated, "People always think I hate men or a feminist who bashes men." She noted that she has been married before and marriage is one of the most beautiful institutions. Toke Makinwa was formerly married to businessman Maji Aida. Their marriage, which began in 2014, ended in 2017. Recently, there were claims that she had married her rumored long-term partner, Farouk Umar. However, the actress promptly refuted these rumors, clarifying that they were merely besties and that the supposed wedding was actually a Thanksgiving event. Sensational Nigerian musician Daniel Anidugbe, popularly known as Kiss Daniel, has stunned fans with news of an upcoming music break. The singer revealed that he will take a break from releasing new music until 2026, following the unveiling of his highly anticipated EP, Uncle K, set to drop on November 29, 2024. He announced on his X handle on Friday, sparking a wave of reactions from fans who expressed their mixed feelings at the thought of his absence from the music scene. Since his breakout hit, Woju, in 2016, Kiss Daniel has cemented his place as one of Nigeria's most consistent hitmakers, boasting 5 studio albums and an impressive catalogue of chart-topping singles. Amid the buzz around his sabbatical, the artist shared a personal tragedy, revealing that his wife recently lost her mother